It's ma'am! Hey, Pipe Pals, how's it going? It is I, the Holy Smoking Pipe Padre right here. And greetings to all of you. Salutations. I'm going to put these glasses back in here and work on making myself a coffee. Yes, I do the pour over. And I think that for me, this is the best it ever gets. Okay. Okay, so let's take a little trip here. And we're going to go into the Caledonian room. And we will have ourselves a little chat and a pipe. It's ma'am. Well, greetings and salutations, pipe lovers, and all things tobacco. Okay, so here I am on this beautiful, it's a beautiful day today, 22nd on January 22nd. So I greet you all as I foist my root briar to you. I am smoking some Sillums in the blue can. And I'm smoking this other Sherlockian, it's my kitty cat, you can't see her there, Sherlockian Dunhill that I got several years ago when I was in Elk Grove, Good Shepherd Parish. So, and got a grimy old cup of coffee here. And I am making this video on my iPad Pro, essentially. And hopefully I'll be able to work on using my iPad to put this video together just for you. So I hope you're doing well. And again, it's sir! Is it sir or is it ma'am? We'll have to talk about that one in a little bit. Okay. Well, how you all doing? I have been away for a couple of weeks. I think I made my my New Year's video. I shared with you what I was doing then and doing there, and thank you for watching. Those of you who have watched, I wanted to put a special shout out to someone, and I hope I don't offend them, but hold on a second. I have to tell you, I had a very interesting experience about, maybe about a month ago, maybe about a month and a half ago. And it was the very first time that one of you out there in the real world recognized me as the Holy Smoking Pipe Padre. It was kind of an interesting little experience. I was in a grocery store, I won't mention the name, and this person came up to me. I won't mention exactly. I'm going to keep them kind of ambiguous so that they're not feeling like I'm doxing them or anything. But they'll know who they are. And I can tell you I was in the produce section. Yeah, I'll tell you I was in the produce section. And so this person walked up to me and goes, "Hey, you're the Holy Smoking Pipe Padre, aren't you?" And I sometimes am recognized as, Father Francis in the community, because I sometimes, I celebrate Mass at different, we only have 2 Catholic parishes, are actually, in Paradise, when Paradise was still a functioning parish. It's hopefully, by the way, hopefully we're hoping that it will sooner rather than later, be opening its doors and having celebrations of Mass there in the not too distant future. But there's a lot of work that has to be done first. But those of you who are wondering about the campfire and the car fire as well, people are still rebuilding their lives. So keep them in your prayers. If there's anything you can do, I just to say, give a donation to St. Thomas More Parish in Paradise, and they surely would really appreciate it. But anyway, so this person recognized me as Holy Smoking Pie Padre. It's probably the first and only time that'll ever happen. But I felt a little awkward about that because most people recognize me as Father Francis here, and I have people that I don't know everybody by name and face. I know a lot of faces. I know a lot of people by name and face, but there are a lot of people that probably recognize me more than I recognize them. Sometimes I even have little kids will be, if I'm in a store, and they get that second look like, I know that guy. And one day it was his mom was with him, and he kept looking at me, and I looked at him, and I looked at her, and she's like, he recognizes you. And I said, okay. And then she says, that's the priest from our church. And he went, oh, okay. So, anyway. So, to my friend, and you know who you are, but I don't want to say anything more than that because, might either embarrass you or, maybe you feel uncomfortable about me paying you a little bit of tribute to say thanks for recognizing the old Holy Smoking Pie Padre. It's ma'am! Sorry about that, folks. I mean, there's just been so many interesting, tantalizing stories in the last few weeks and days and hours, whether it's the shutdown in the government. Today, I guess the news du jour was the transgender ban going forward. Let's see. Yesterday and over the weekend, it was the teenage students being embroiled in a racist incident, which turned out not to be a racist incident at all. Maybe we'll talk a little bit about that. And then I guess a few weeks back we had this person who went into a GameStop, and it just, can I just say it's just pure ridiculousness, okay? I'm sorry. I'm just sorry that our world has come to this. Again, if people want to live a certain way and they're not hurting anybody, that's fine. And I also include it hurting as like, are you forcing other people to buy into your mindset? Because not everybody can and not everybody will. And, that's one of my reoccurring themes is, disagreement. It's not discrimination. It's just disagreement. And we seem to be living in a time where if you somehow disagree, you're considered, the worst person that ever lived, worse than Hitler, worse than Stalin, worse than Idi Amin, worse than what's that guy's name? Oh, the guy that I think he's in America. What's his name? He's a billionaire. He's thinking about running for president. Oh, anyway. But you know who I'm talking about. I mean, people think you're as worse as that guy. And all I can say is, you're entitled to your feelings and your opinions. But at the end of the day, that's all they are. So, anyway, we'll talk more about that maybe a little bit. Now, one thing, let's get back to a little more personal things here. Just, when I say personal, I just mean, just my life. For those of you who kind of follow in and kind of want to know what the old Padre's up to. The last several years, I've made resolutions, and I think I was very honest, and I basically said that I did not keep any of last year's resolutions. I just didn't. And instead of trying to justify it and trying to say, well, just forget about it, I really started thinking, well, this year I want to be a little bit more thoughtful. And so finally today, I know it's 22nd, I'm getting a late start on this, but I had to kind of stop and say, well, what is realistic about the resolutions that I want to follow this year? And so anyway, I came up with a list, and I just thought I'd share it with you guys. Let's see here. I use the pencil. It's supposed to tap. It's supposed to tap automatically, and it's supposed to draw. Okay, what's going on here? Okay, there we go. No, wait, is that? Okay, I should have brought my glasses. Okay, let's go here. Oh, it's not going to let you do that. Okay, wait a minute. Maybe it will. Hold on. Okay, it's supposed to, okay, hit the, okay, awesome. Okay, so I even wrote it down on my iPad Pro, okay. So I'm using iPad Pro 2nd generation. Okay, so here it is, resolutions 2019. Okay, I resolve, or I endeavor to close the Apple rings Monday through Saturday. Sunday, I just take a break. Number 2, this is going to be a hard one, but I think I can do it this year. No new Apple products. What happened last year was I had a friend who needed a new iPhone. And although I didn't want to buy one, that's all I can do is buy one for them and send it to them. And so I realized I was going to break my resolution probably a month into it when they called and were desperate and said, oh, my phone broke, I need a new one. So anyway, I felt kind of like, well, considering I broke it, well, now I can go ahead and just, well, enjoy the fact that now I'm kind of released from that one because I broke it. And, I'm going to go and buy a few new Apple products, i.e., iPad Pro. But this year, because I'm trying to get into whether you want to call it minimalism, just divesting myself of a lot of extraneous things. And there's a little gal, I'll probably I'll put some of the links down below, and the old sand bucket is Matches 860 calls it. Some of the videos I'm going to be referring to. This little gal just talks about this Japanese method of basically just minimizing and tidying. That's the watchword. Tidying, living a tidy life. Tidying up your apartment, tidying up your house, tidying up your drawers. So anyway, I kind of really have been intrigued by this, and I've kind of experienced in a small way how I feel when those things when I'm doing those things. But I think you have to do it on an ongoing basis. It's just like anything else in life. It's a maintenance thing. And so one of the videos this little gal has is on, what does she do? She's doing, well, the one of those I saw, this is the course that she has. And that's the picture in the background, I think, of her talking about her course of tidiness. So anyway, I'm just intrigued by that. It's simple. It kind of dovetails into my last year's book that I read by Dr. Jordan B. Peterson, 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos. Great book, great read, a lot of great insights into that book. So anyway, but he basically talks about organizing your life, okay? So trying to do organization as opposed to chaos. And so some of this, when you kind of get rid of the extra junk, and again, I'm being a baby boomer, we kind of come from most of our parents were from the Depression era, and we kind of learned to hoard or hold on to things because you never know when you're going to need an extra rubber band or one of those little twisty tie things. You never know. It could save the world. So you want to make sure you have one on hand. And that carries over in all sorts of things. So, and for me, if you're also a sentimental person, people give you something and you feel like, well, I can't get rid of that. Somebody gave me that as a gift. What I like to do is, well, I can also now, in turn, gift it to somebody else who might enjoy it. So again, no new Apple products, trying to work on minimizing and tidying up my life, organizing my life. Number 3, no sugar. That basically means no cookies, pies, treats. Just trying to, keep the sugar down. I was having some problems with the old digestion a couple weeks back, and anyway, so I'm trying to figure out how to get better gut flora. And one guy said, you can cure some of your problems by using raw honey, and because raw honey is supposed to be a natural antibiotic. Well, of course, raw honey is fructose and sucrose, right? It's sugar, and so it's sort of like, well, what do you do? Do you try and have good gut flora? And would you use like a little teaspoon every day as more of like a medicinal thing? That would probably spike your blood sugar a little bit more than average, but maybe not much. I don't know if it's just 1 teaspoon. So anyway, I've been experimenting with raw honey and B vitamins to help with healing up my gut, as well as just eating basically, a reasonable diet. A lot of vegetables, some meat. I'm having believe it or not, a vegan venison stew. That's right, you heard right, a vegan venison stew. And it's vegan because, well, deers eat plants, and so if you eat the plants, if the deers eat the plants and you eat the deer, then you're eating vegan. So that's how I justify it's a vegan venison stew. Thank you. So anyway, hold on a second. Okay, review note. Okay, so no sugar, and I have just a little dollop of honey left, and I probably, now that the gut flora feels a little bit better, maybe I'll kind of let go of that now and really just completely have no sugars at all. And so no. Okay, here's one that I have never tried before, and it's going to be hard. But starting, probably today or sometime this month, before the year really gets full blown, I'd like to stop being a news junkie. I used to be a news junkie a long time ago, and I pretty much gave it up for a couple of years, but I've kind of gotten sucked back into it. I mean, now don't hear me saying we're not supposed to be responsible and be in the know, but I just feel that 90% of all the news stories that we see, it's on steroids. These news stories, they're completely out of control. Case in point, this recent brouhaha about the boys at the Lincoln Memorial being accosting a Native American, when just, if you watch the whole video, you find out it was just the opposite. And I got to be honest with you, if you really stop and look at it for what it really was, it was a bunch of high school students waiting at the Lincoln Memorial for a bus ride home. That's it. And other people, by using their cell phones and their agenda, basically hyped this into something. I mean, it's a non-story to begin with. I mean, really. All they were trying to do is, because they were wearing Trump hats, say that they're racist, and they were picking on this poor Native American indigenous person, whatever you want to call that guy. And it was anything but that. Anything but that. And in fact, if there hadn't been cameras there, nobody would have known anything, and nobody would have made a big deal about anything. It just, there were some other protesters there that were shouting they were the ones shouting racial epithets to these white kids, calling them dusty crackers and go back to Europe and all this stuff. I mean, and they're okay, and the kids basically just stood there. What were they supposed to do? Were they supposed to kneel down and say the Confiteor and beat their chest and say our fault, our most grievous fault, we're all racist and we're so sorry? I mean, they were just waiting for a bus, and somebody got in their face, and that's all it was. So anyway, I just think it's silly. But anyway, so what I'm trying to do, what I'm trying to do this year is kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Extricate myself. Is that the right word? Trying to unleash myself from the knee-jerk reaction to comment on all these political videos and news articles, because I like to kind of get in there and maybe some people will call me being a troll, because I'm going to say, now I have to say I've never used vulgarities, and I have not done ad hominem attacks. Now I probably get a little bit close to maybe talking about political caricatures, like for example, I think Nancy Pelosi is acting like a little school kid who's not getting her way. No, we're not building that wall. No. And I'm sorry, Nancy, I call her Nasty Pelosi, is, you know what? Children say no, but adults compromise. And she keeps trying to blame President Trump for the shutdown, when in actuality she's the one to blame, because Trump has pretty much given them pretty much everything that they want in a compromise to basically fund the wall and some other things that he wants. Okay, I'm going to give you what you want, you give me what I want. That's compromise. Okay, and basically she doesn't want to. I mean, if he even said, "Look, I'll find a cure. I'll find a cure for cancer, but let's fund the wall," she'd still say no. She's acting more and more like a woman who has been just a really angry woman going through a very ugly divorce. And she is not going to give her ex-spouse any benefit of the doubt. He is evil incarnate. And there's nothing that he can ever do that's good. Nothing, ever, nothing. And that's the way she's treating this. And it's silly and it's stupid. It's irrational and it's immature. And she basically needs to grow up or move on, because she is actually the one stopping the government. She's the shutdown. How do you spell shutdown? Pelosie. Oh, Pelosi. Pelosi. There we go. Pelosi. Okay, sorry about that. I kind of did a Nancy Pelosi. She's such a piece of work. Is that nasty Pelosi? Anyway, but these news stories, they kind of get your attention. They get your dander up. They kind of, you want to respond. You want to maybe say some choice words. And again, for me, I'm not cussing at anybody. I'm not calling people. I mean, people call me idiot and bigot and hater and stupid and ignorant and what if somebody? Oh, anyway, somebody just called me like, you're such an idiot. You're stupid. Okay, well, fine, that's fine, because I was putting up some of my reactions to the transgender people, or, again, I have no problems with them in and of themselves, but when you try and force me to deny basic biology, one person said, well, they're born transgender. I go, no, it's the way they were born. No, you're either born a male or a female. You're born that way. All you got to do is take a look down there. Either you have a pee-pee or you don't have one, and that's it. It's as simple as that. There's nobody that's born, a transgender. Now there are some hermaphrodite people that are born that way, and that's an abnormality. Sad for them maybe, but again, that's not a judgment call on them or putting them down. It's just that is a very, 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 very rare condition that a person is born with, but that doesn't make them transgender. So anyway, but I was kind of basically, sharing my beliefs, and there's a wonderful video, I'll put that in the bucket below, about transgenderism, and it's kind of an interesting video if you'd like to watch that one. It's I think it's a very truthful, factual video, helps people to maybe kind of get their head around the issue and kind of see it for what it really is. But I think the military needs real tanks, not fake trannies. Sorry, that's just that's my 2 cents. Okay, but I love to get on Yahoo, and and sometimes I like to share my opinion, yes, I know that my opinion probably will not be received favorably by some people. Okay, getting rid of things. Talked about that a few minutes ago. And another, hey, oh my goodness, wait a minute. What happened there? Well, that's not good. Have I been erasing something here? Oh, that's not good. Okay, well, shoot. That kind of upsets me because somehow I erased something that I didn't want to. Okay, let's see what was. Okay, the last one is trying to pay off a credit line that I've had for a while, and it's not in danger of going like super viral or anything, but I just want to kind of don't have to have any debt at all whatsoever. And then I think I put down here, and then I erased it by accident with tapping, I guess. Trying to be consistent, not perfect. That was one of the kind of the things that I wanted to say, kind of as a guiding principle. You know, don't try to practice perfection, just practice consistency. Oh yeah, and the other one is turning your weaknesses into strengths. So those are the two guiding principles that I think will help to make this a little bit better year. So we'll see how I do. Now, last year, as I said, I kind of had problems because of my back. In fact, it was interesting. I'll put another video down below. The guy in Scotland, Don Bauer, who also had sciatica for 18 months. That's quite good. Let me get some coffee here too. He had sciatica for 18 months, and for him, it was so bad that he did take the opioid drugs to help moderate the pain. And I have to say that, and it does make me virtuous, and him not so virtuous, not at all. In fact, I tried to tell him that his videos were very encouraging to me because I knew that he had just gotten really ripped and lean a few years back, and then his back just went, completely out on him. And, he didn't gain a whole lot of weight, but he lost some of his definition, and he kind of got a little chubby, not much though. And so I felt sorry for him because he was just going great guns, and then all of a sudden after 18 months, then I see a video, he's running again. And I went, oh, this has got to be an older video. This has to be an older video. And it turned out it wasn't. It was a brand new video, and he was out in the hills and the highlands of Scotland, and he was doing his thing. And I was, what happened? What happened? How did tell me the story. So anyway, several other people also asked him, said, hey, tell me your story of how you overcame this, and what was your experience like. So anyway, down in the bucket, if you'd like to go check out his video on how he kind of overcame or got through his sciatica and his lower back problems. It's really, really interesting. One of the things that he talked about, which I thought was very fascinating, was that the nerve receptors, the pain receptors, there's some scientists that are saying that after a while they kind of stop. The pain stops, not because you're healed up per se. It's just that they've been degraded. It's like anything in life. You overuse something, it gets worn out. And anyway, I'm not sure how scientific that is. I don't know if that's an idea, a theory that some scientists have. But anyway, he was saying that that's kind of what if I don't misunderstand him, he was saying that maybe he's kind of experiencing some of that. I know that that's my question now, is that as my back is much better than what it was, say 6 months ago, and probably about late October, things started getting really, almost like I didn't have the pain anymore, and I was kind of going, well, what's going on? Am I healed? What does this mean? Does it mean I can go back and start working out and doing things I was doing before, or what? So because as I have been researching myself on lower back issues, one of the phases that a person who's gone through this is the question of, okay, I'm going to be very cautious so I don't re-injure myself. So again, that's something that I want to make sure that I don't do, is re-injure myself, because really hated that. Okay, what are you doing now? No problem. What the heck? Okay, so anyway, and that's the other thing. Sometimes technology has a life of its own, and they're just little glitches. And sometimes you're thinking something's working and it's not. In fact, hold on a second. I want to make sure that this is working still. Yeah, it looks like it's still working. Good. All right. Excellent. So that's pretty much where I've been the last couple months. Is, most of the pain in my lower back is gone. I'm like rejoicing every day. I'm grateful. I have lots of gratitude. Thank you, God. I wouldn't wish that pain literally on my worst enemy. It's that bad. So, but anyway, so I'm hoping in the next couple of days or weeks maybe, kind of start reintroducing some of my, personal exercises like I was doing, push-ups and sit-ups, maybe trying to work out with some light weights maybe. And I've been walking every day, with the exception of maybe one day in the month on Sundays. I try not to overdo it on Sundays to give myself a little rest. But every day I've been closing the rings, which basically means I walk between 5 and 6 miles a day, which is not bad, which is really good. Haven't been doing that in a long time. So anyway, I'm hoping that I'm going to be able to kind of make a fuller recovery and really just kind of enjoy getting back out. The beautiful day today, I'll get out in a little bit and go for a nice walk again. I usually kind of do it around dusk, which seems to be a really nice time to go for a walk. So anyway, that's kind of where that is. And so anyway, so I just kind of thought I'd get on here and just kind of share where I'm at today on the 22nd of January. So let's see. I'm just trying to think. I have a little mental outline of some things that I was going to talk about and to share with you all. Kind of just give you kind of an update on where the old Padre's at these days. I had some other little things I was going to talk about, and unfortunately I didn't take the time to write down kind of a little bit of an outline like I normally do. I tried to say, okay, I want to talk about this, I want to talk about that, I want to talk about this. And I thought, well, most of the things I can talk about, I kind of got some little aids to help me in that, but unfortunately I didn't quite get them all committed to memory like I sometimes do. What we can do here, instead of just trying to ramble, maybe what I can do is do this, and maybe come over here to the old computer and kind of see some of the things I was going to talk about. Okay. Does it open with the Apple Watch? It should. Okay, good. Okay. Let me get my glasses on here. Okay. Let's see here. Oh, yeah. That was the other thing I wanted to talk about. I have probably just one more thing I was going to talk about. Besides it's ma'am. Yeah, okay. So let's see if we can do this. Make sure that's in the frame. Okay. Yeah, there's one more thing I wanted to talk about, which I thought was very fascinating. And that was The video I saw was it just yesterday, and it really gave me some pause to think about something, and something that is so innocuous, something that's so innocent, something that you just wouldn't even give it a second thought, that actually, sadly to say, a young college student, 20 years old, it killed him, destroyed his liver. I follow this guy, he's a doctor, his name is Dr. Bernard, and he kind of, to me, he looks a little bit, I hope I'm not being offensive, he looks like either an Oriental or Chinese version of Benedict Cumberbatch. But anyway, his name is Bernard, he's Dr. Bernard. His YouTube channel is Chubby Emu. Anyway, but he gives some of the most excellent, fascinating little medical exposés on medical problems that people face, whether it's, but they're kind of curious things. People eat, one woman eats 40 cookies in an hour or two and goes to the emergency room and presenting to the emergency room, blah, 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 blah. And it's just fascinating videos. I mean, he breaks down the medical terms, explains what they mean. He even goes through some of the biochemistry there, kind of a rudimentary way, but enough to where a person like myself can follow along, go, oh, okay. All right, I can see where that works. I see how that works now. I kind of have some new understanding. But anyway, he always has these really interesting medical videos from time to time. They come out maybe like once or twice a month, maybe. But it's like going to medical school. I mean, you just get a really great introduction to some things that maybe mystify and baffle us medically. But anyway, this is one story that just stopped me cold. I'll tell you, I wouldn't say I'm not a very clean person. I mean, I'm pretty fastidious, I think, but I kind of allow myself a little bit of grunge, from time to time. I mean, I'm not 100% super hygienic on everything that I do. I mean, I'm not sure there are people that just, they scrub and clean all the time, and I kind of go in bits and drabs. I kind of do a little bit here, and then things will pile up a little bit, and then but I'm not 100% where I'm doing it every single moment of the day, because sometimes I'm just either too busy or too tired. But anyway, he was talking about this guy, and I'll put the link down below, who ate 2-day-old pasta. Penny pasta, 2-day-old penny pasta. And I guess he left it sit outside, and I don't know what happened, but it got some kind of a poison. And essentially, he ate this pasta. Just simple penny pasta. And he presented to the emergency room basically with his liver shutting down. And anyway, he also drank some Pepto-Bismol on top of that, which I think also exacerbated the condition. Anyway, sadly, by the time his liver started shutting down, it was too late. And we're talking maybe a matter of, 6 hours maybe? Maybe less? It was frightening. I mean, he supposedly left this pasta out for 2 days, and then somebody put it away in the refrigerator, and then when he pulled it back out again, he didn't know, and he ate it. He said it smelled kind of funny, didn't smell all that great, but he put some sauce on it and ate it, because he's a college student. That's what they do. And the sad thing was it killed him outright. And it's kind of amazing that sometimes simple little things like that, unbeknownst to us, are killers. And I think of all the things that I've eaten and drank in my life, and it's a miracle I'm still here, because I did some really severe, I'm sure, liver damage when I was younger with all the excessive drinking I did. I'm amazed I even have a liver, But the thing is that this kid innocently just ate 2-day-old pasta. That's all it took. And it completely shut his liver down. And friends, if your liver shuts down, you're dead. If your kidneys shut down, you're dead. Well, Actually, you can get dialysis and maybe a kidney transplant, but man. So it's just a very sobering reminder of how fragile our bodies are, how delicate and vulnerable they are, and sometimes the most innocuous, innocent little things that we don't even give a second thought could be our demise. So it really kind of makes you walk a little more gingerly, throughout your day, going, you know what, we take a lot of things for granted. That's all I'll say. We take a lot of things for granted. I know I do. And we have to be maybe a little bit more in tune with our surroundings, with the things that we take in. I think, interesting enough, I'll say this about Dr. Bernard's videos, and it just kind of dawned on me this morning as I was thinking about how fascinating they all are. And he's a young guy. And he plays video games. He builds computers. He has different interests. So he's really, he even has relationship videos. Not that I've watched that many of those, but the thing is that he's a young guy. I would probably say he's a millennial, maybe. Highly intelligent guy, and he also battled with his weight and he got it down. He's like super lean and trim. So he has another exercise fitness videos that he does as well. But just a great channel. I highly recommend it. But the thing that dawned on me this morning is that the things that kill us are the things that we ingest. Because every single one of his videos that talks about people, presenting to the emergency room with this condition or this situation, it's something that they ate. Whether they drank too much water in a 2-hour period. There was like this one mom who is at hyponatremia. She drank all this water and basically it washes out all the electrolytes, which control your bodily functions, but you need those. And now, it's just like, we got way too much H2O in the system and now the body's going crazy. Just something simple like that. People who, there was one video about a woman who, and I forgot the name of the chemical compound. It literally was a insignificant, minuscule drop of, I think it was liquid, was it mercury, liquid mercury? Anyway, it was a drop of liquid mercury. Or it was a special mercury compound. But anyway, it's highly, 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 highly toxic. And although she had these protective gloves on, she thought they were protective. This little minuscule drop gets literally on her little part of her thumb there, her hand, and it goes through the membranes in that glove. And I guess basically what it did, it got into her bloodstream, and it began to shut down some respiratory processes in her body. Anyway, but just fascinating stuff. But again, just little things. Now, again, that she didn't quite ingest that one. Well, technically, okay, yeah, actually, it was the skin ingested it. So, but most of it's oral ingestion things you drink, things you eat, things you take as medicines. So anyway, but just fascinating channel. So I was just really completely impressed by that. And I'll leave one of the little video ones, the link I'm going to leave for you is the kid and the pasta, which I tell you what, I don't, I kind of look at pasta. I've always had problems with pasta and bread and carbohydrates, as you all know. But this makes me even think, not only do they make you fat, they can kill you. So anyway, again, I'm not here to try and scare anybody, but I'm just saying that sometimes a little bit of knowledge can be a big help. So, all right, gosh, I think I have kind of covered everything I wanted to talk about in my video today. My kitty cat was here, but she's kind of gone now. So unfortunately, I can't give you any Miss Elsie videos because she doesn't want to be on video today. She's kind of like that, Cats are like that. Yep. Gary Portier can tell you that cats, that's just the way cats are. Okay, thanks for watching, everyone. I appreciate your your indulgences, and thanks so much for spending a few minutes with me and enjoying a pipe. And so I'll just conclude as I kind of am wont to do in most of my videos: light up your world, light up your pipe, and have yourself a grand and glorious day. We'll see you next time. Take care.